Men and women of the Navy, April marks the 5th anniversary of Navy's cultural change journey under NGN. It's my 3rd NGN anniversary as Chief of Navy, and it's just over a year since I launched the refreshed NGN strategy. So I think it's timely for us to take a few minutes to reflect upon what we've achieved, both over the last 5 years and in the last 12 months or so. In February last year, I launched the refreshed NGN strategy. That strategy recognised that our environment had changed since NGN began in 2009. Some of the initial imperatives for change had been addressed. Some had been overtaken by events, and some had morphed into new issues that drove NGN onto a new course. With this in mind, the new NGN strategy centred on a defining statement that encapsulated what we needed to be. A Navy that is trusted to defend Australia and its interests by being ready to fight and win at sea. A Navy that is proven to deliver seaworthy and mission-ready forces. And a Navy that is diverse and respectful always, where we live our signature behaviours and values every day. This statement is significant. It is linked NGN to the Navy strategy, which is the blueprint for delivering our new capability, and aligns NGN with the broader Defence Reform Program under Pathway to Change. It's been a busy year since we launched that new strategy, but I don't need to tell you that because each of you has been directly engaged in our high tempo of operations, training people for those operations, or in some other way supporting them. I'm grateful for the efforts by everyone in the Navy, and I'm incredibly proud of what we have achieved. But what really stands out for me is the role that our values and signature behaviours have played in those successes. I've stated consistently that NGN, our values and signature behaviours, are not just about treating each other better and making the Navy a better place to work. Our values and signature behaviours enable us to deliver real operational effects so we can achieve our mission to fight and win at sea. I think the last 12 months has shown us that. Our operations and our operating environment are invariably ambiguous and frequently unpredictable. It's just the nature of what we do. We simply can't have rules, processes or SOPs to cover every operational situation. This is where our values and signature behaviours are critical. They are not only our moral compass, but also a source of resilience as we deal with a changing world. In the last year, we've faced some difficult situations where our people, across all ranks, and sometimes in the absence of firm guidance, have made the morally sound decisions that have enabled us to achieve excellent operational outcomes. In the past 12 months, we've also had the opportunity to showcase our Navy through the International Fleet Review. IFR put us on the world stage, and while our ships were very impressive, it was you who were the real stars in a spectacle that captivated not only the nation, but the planet. Our values and signature behaviours were on display and under scrutiny, and what impressed me most was how proud you were. It was palpable. We truly did make Navy proud and made Australia proud. Over the longer term, it's clear that NGN continues to have a real and lasting impact, and we have hard data now to prove it. In the last 5 years, we've reduced our separation rates by around 27%. A number of our categories are healthier, and improvements to the way we train have reduced the size of the training force by 14%. Our workforce is in better shape than it was 5 years ago, but we still have a lot of work to do so that we can meet future capability requirements. Our own culture surveys and others tell us that through NGN, we are better led at all levels. There's clear evidence to suggest that we are embedding our signature behaviours and our people understand what is expected of them. Importantly, the majority of our people are meeting those expectations. That said, there are pockets of resistance. But that resistance, as all good Trekkies would know, is futile. The vast majority of you can see that we have a better Navy than we did 5 years ago. For example, since NGN commenced in 2009, we have significantly increased prohibited substance testing, but the number of positive tests that have decreased by 82%. It's a similar story with alcohol testing. We've increased our testing and positive returns have fallen by 58%. The downward trend is promising, but we are still not where we need to be, particularly with alcohol, which continues to be at the core of many of our unacceptable behaviour issues. Since NGN commenced, we've also seen continued and significant declines in most areas of unacceptable behaviour, with sexual offences decreasing by more than half. That said, there are still too many. These incidents have a truly negative impact on people, on teams, our reputation, and ultimately on our ability to fight and win. They erode the trust placed in us by government and the Australian people. And for that reason, every one of us needs to do all we can to ensure the appropriate behavioural standards are set and maintained. Thanks to the Truth in Reporting Challenge and the Crucial Performance Conversation course, we're having a more honest conversation with each other around the Navy, and we're being more frank in our reporting. My Islamic, Indigenous, LGBTI and women's advisors are well and truly in place, and we continue to explore avenues to become an organisation that better reflects the diverse nature of the Australian community. We've achieved conditional accreditation as a white ribbon workplace, which makes a very strong statement about how we will not tolerate violence against women. We still have a way to go to make a Navy a more flexible employer, but our achievements since 2009 have made Navy a better place to work. Achieving what we have under NGN has required leadership and commitment at all levels and right across the Navy. I remain as committed to NGN today as I was when I assumed command of the Navy from Vice Admiral Crane. And I know that my successor, Rear Admiral Tim Barrett, is equally determined to see our change process continue. More importantly though, wherever I go throughout the Navy, I see leaders at all levels living our values, demonstrating our signature behaviours and owning NGN. This is it should be. NGN is our collective responsibility and it is enduring. I appreciate how busy you all are, but as we mark the 5th anniversary of NGN, I'd like you to take a few minutes to reflect on what we have achieved since 2009, and particularly over the last 12 months. I'd particularly like you to think about how our values and signature behaviours have not just made Navy a better place to work, but how they've enabled us to achieve real operational outcomes and enhance our capability to achieve our mission. Yes, there is still much to be done, but we have accomplished a lot, and I thank you for your role in our continuing cultural journey. We should all be proud of how far we've come. I've often said that cultural change is like turning a large ship. It takes time, and while we are well into the turn, we're still a little way from steadying on the new course. There's still work to do, and we're all at the helm.